Hello. Welcome or welcome back, whether you are new or not. I've been gone from YouTube for over a week now. I don't know when this video is going to be uploaded, but it has been over a week by the time that I'm filming this that I've been gone, because much like other creators, I've been taking some time to stop and listen and learn with everything that's going on right now. I did want to come on and just talk because I know that I have a predominantly white audience. I'm very white. My family is very white. I grew up in like the whitest city ever that is very conservative. I know when I see my YouTube analytics that the majority of you guys are from Canada, the US, and the UK, and if my YouTube audience falls in line with my Instagram audience, which I'm assuming it does, a lot of you are young white girls and women. I wanted to take the little platform that I have and use it for whatever good I have, so that is why I'm here. Before I say anything else, 100% of the revenue, not only from this video but from all of my videos for the month of June, I will be donating. I don't know where to yet. If you don't know, I have my bachelor's, like my undergraduate degree in criminology and legal studies, so I would love to donate to bail funds because I do really care about people getting proper justice and the legal system treating people properly. So I would love to donate to bail funds. I'm also looking at more local things because also, if you didn't know, I am Canadian. So I'm not going to say where at the time of this because things change, and every single day different organizations are saying donate to this one, donate to this one, we don't need it anymore. I know like Michigan Freedom Fund like came out and said that they don't want any more donations because they were completely overwhelmed. So I don't know where, but at the end of the month when I do know, I will post on my community tab, as well as I'll probably post on Instagram as well. I also want to say, if you have not yet, go look in the description. If you only have like 15 minutes in your day and it is between taking the time to watch this video or going through the links in the description, I urge you to do that instead. I am not who you should be listening to, and I'm fully aware of that. So I have tried my best. It's not perfect, but I've tried my best to put together a huge list of resources in the description. I have Black-owned businesses, a lot of different Black creators, both in Disney and the more like wellness and like lifestyle realm. Obviously there's like a billion more than that, but those are kind of the niches that I exist in, so that's who I've been around the most. So a lot of creators that I personally follow are down there as well. I also have included a lot of different resources in the sense of different media. So I've pulled this from things that Black creators have posted, other people's descriptions, what I've seen on Instagram, different graphics, things like that. But I have a whole bunch of podcasts, books. I've tried to link where you can buy the books from alternative sellers that aren't Amazon, because we all know that Amazon isn't great. Movies, if I could find the whole movie, which I think only one of them I could, that is linked down there, but also trailers to them so you can kind of take a look through. Shows. What else do I even have? I think that's it. Podcasts, movies, books, creators, businesses. There's a YouTube video that all of the ad revenue is being donated that has been watched like millions and millions of times, which is awesome. I watched it through the first time and then I've just been playing it in the back of me editing or watching videos, or when I leave the house. It's like an hour long. So far, the time that I'm filming this, she's already raised over $30,000. So I urge you to go watch that. It features a bunch of different Black creators and musicians and artists and things like that. So that'll be linked down there. Petitions, places to donate. I've included as much info as I possibly can in the description. So like I said, if it is between having time to watch this or going in the description and taking 15 minutes to look at the different things in the description, do that instead, because that is the dominant voice. The rest of this is going to be me just talking about how I am hoping to use my platform, and if you are someone who's really white usually, how you can use your platform as well, and hopefully things that you can do to help out the Black Lives Matter movement. This has obviously been going on for years. Like I said, have my undergraduate degree in criminology, so I'm very lucky that I feel like I came from a moderately liberal institution in the sense that I've always known about this. I think this is something that has really just hit a tipping point and people haven't been listening for the last couple centuries at this point, and it's really important to not let it die out. At the time that I'm filming this, the Black Lives Matter hashtag is no longer trending on things like Twitter. Muting that people are doing is running up soon. People are going back to posting normal content, and I hope, between like what I can tell you from my experience, as well as the resources down below, as well as you being able to go and listen to Black creators, you can continue this motivation through. As much as it's great to have people rally behind the Black community with protests and petitions, there's always something that we can do more, and it's proof that it works. When this whole thing started, you obviously know about George Floyd, but they went from having one cop with a third-degree murder manslaughter to him being raised to second, which, on that note, don't push for first. No one wants first-degree murder. It is way too hard to prove. Everyone's happy with second for the most part, and everyone else has been charged with things as well. So it's proof that this works, but there's so many other individuals who haven't gotten their justice yet. Everyone's talking about Breonna Taylor right now. That is a huge one. Her birthday was last week, and there were simple things that could have been done so she didn't lose her life. So there's so many things that we can keep doing. I think it's important to not just stop now and go back to our everyday life. I'm nervous to see what happens in the next month or so, because obviously the Disney parks are going to open in the middle of July, and that is going to overshadow everything because the Disney community is very white, and I already see now people that I needed to unfollow because they weren't posting and they didn't care and they weren't sharing resources, and they were posting all lives matter bullshit, and they were saying not all cops are bad and all that. So even though this is going to fizzle out in the sense of numbers on hashtags and in the media, keep it in your brain, keep it in your mind, see what your creators are posting, see what the people you follow are saying, see who's still posting about this at the end of the year, see who's still pissed off when the elections come around, because this is the kind of energy that y'all in the States need to keep through these elections. I am Canadian, I cannot vote. I wish I could vote in the States because I have so many feelings about it, and obviously I've lived there, but keep this momentum going. It can't stop now. You've done so much good already that it doesn't make sense to stop now. So like I said, I am very white. I grew up in an entirely white family. I have like distant cousins that aren't white, but like my birth family, we are very white. I grew up in a small-ish conservative, mostly white town. I think there was literally only white kids in my elementary school, just because it's where we lived. Don't want to say I didn't know, but I wasn't taught racism, I guess, and taught prejudice as a child until I went to university. I was lucky that I went to a relatively progressive university, and I obviously am taking a social science degree that focuses on this, and I've taken a lot of classes that not only show like the systematic racism in the criminal justice system towards the Black community and especially the Indigenous community in Canada, but also things like the really high domestic abuse rates of people who were cops. I took a whole class where this came up a lot. So I know what it's like to be overwhelmed and confused and not know what's going on and just think that there's so much information that you can't even wrap your brain around it. And if you are one of those people, I urge you to just keep pushing and keep listening and educate yourself as much as possible. And there's so many little things that you can do that can make a huge difference. I kind of started talking about this on Instagram last week, and I didn't think I would get any sort of feedback on it because I was just complaining. I was really frustrated that so many people in the Disney community with huge follower counts weren't saying anything, and then obviously people started to get exposed. I have felt this way for a long time. I made a video in 2018 talking about shitty shops and influencers that vote for Trump and are homophobic and transphobic and racist. It's been known. We know this. It's not new in the Disney community, unfortunately, because it is a community that is built around people who have money to buy annual passes and have the luxury to go to college programs and are raised in the South, which I'm not saying that the South is inherently racist, but I am saying that a lot of the people that are saying not so nice things or not supporting their fellow Black creators tend to be Republicans. But this isn't new. We aren't shocked by this. And I essentially went on this rant on Instagram, and I was overwhelmed with the amount of people that reached out and were like, thank you, because this is what I wanted to say that no one else has been saying. And through that post, I was connected with so many amazing Black creators. I will be the first to admit that I had a very small like bubble of people that I followed, that I engaged with regularly, just because I'm not on Instagram that much, and it completely opened my eyes to amazing Black creators in the community, small shops that are Black-owned businesses, different like activist accounts that I would have never seen otherwise without posting that, which is amazing, which is why I wanted to put all together and make it easy to access in the links in the description here. I think the fact that so many people were shocked that I was doing the bare minimum shows how important it is to use your platform, specifically if you are white and you're aware that the majority of your following is also probably white. I feel like I'm talking in a circle and I don't know how to word things. I'm trying my best to be as concise as possible, but there's really nothing that I can say that is even remotely to the caliber that people haven't said before, which is why I'm saying listen to the people in your community, listen to the Black creators that you know. I think my biggest takeaway is, if you're someone in the same position as me, is to just talk about it, because you never know who's following you, you never know who's surrounding you. There's patches in the South, and this isn't just in the States. If you're in Alberta or Saskatchewan or Manitoba, there's patches of communities that have never thought about this. They went to religious private schools, they have privately funded Christian educations, they didn't have a single Black kid in their school. It's a thing, and I think that just trying to amplify Black voices, trying to give different resources, trying to promote media that can help people learn in a way that doesn't scare them and overwhelm them can make a huge difference, because they may have not seen it otherwise. There is a possibility that someone who follows you only follows white people and none of them are saying anything because their uncle's a cop or their dad's a cop, or like I said, they went to a small Christian community college where this wasn't brought up and everyone was white, and if you could say something, it makes a huge difference. I also just want to stress the importance of talking to your family. Like I said, I'm lucky that I grew up in a slightly more liberal household, I would guess, but in a very conservative city still. I think my family was more economically liberal and socially conservative, if anything. This isn't just me, I've seen this all over social media to so many people who are saying that it is so important to talk to your family and friends no matter what. I went home to visit my mom at the very start of all these protests, and when I went home, she was 1000% one of those people who was like, I don't get why they're violent, I don't understand why they're looting, I think that the cops are just doing their job, why are they throwing things at the cops, this seems like so dramatic. She was one of those people. And I think, especially looking at the demographic of your parents, like my mom's in her 60s, she's a white lady in her 60s, she doesn't have Twitter, she doesn't have YouTube, she doesn't know how to access any of that. She barely uses Facebook, and she watches the news every night. And if you've watched the traditional news, you know the way that things are cut and cropped and put forward to show bias. We know this. This isn't new. That's why people argue about Fox News versus CNN. If you've seen the Fox News clip, it's literally them calling out celebrities for promoting rioting when celebrities were just donating money to Black Lives Matter. My mom was one of those people, and I just started to talk every single day. I brought it up no matter what. I would show her stupid things that Donald Trump was doing. If she was saying, why are they provoking and trying to like push the cops to be violent, I would show her videos of people sitting in the street doing absolutely nothing and cops just attacking them. If she said, why are they throwing things at cop cars, I would show her videos of cop cars plowing through crowds of people and injuring people. She would say, why are they throwing, I don't know, empty cans at cops. I would show her pictures of people who have insane injuries from rubber bullets being shot in their head and losing their eyes. It's not pretty, it's not fun, it's not great conversations to have at the dinner table, but it needs to happen. And through over and over and over again, proving to her that the cops aren't the good guys and that this is a way to push social reform and how historically this is how it works, eventually I started to get through to her. We were talking about like civil rights acts. When Martin Luther King Jr. died, people rioted. If you were someone in the LGBTQ community, Stonewall was a riot. The reason that you have rights as women, LGBTQ, people of color, is because of this kind of action. And I think my mom just doesn't think about that. And I think a lot of people who are older than their 20s or 30s don't think about it. And I think the media doesn't explain it in a way that makes it easy to understand, because they obviously have a certain standpoint. So you, as their child and as an advocate and as an ally, it's your responsibility to teach them, because as much as we don't want to say it, unfortunately things are heard more when it comes from white creators or influencers or family members. I said this on Instagram, I'll say this again. It's not great, it's not a good thing, but it's how it tends to happen. So while maybe my mom wouldn't have listened to a news anchor who is black that she's never seen before explaining the severity of this, if me, someone who she trusts, someone who she raised, someone who she knows is politically and socially aware, can explain this to her in a sense of how it affects her and her community, then maybe she'll start to get it. And after probably about 4 days of me being at home and bringing this up constantly and showing her things constantly and bringing up the history of protests and rioting, literally by the end of that week, she was like, this is ridiculous. Like, why are the cops doing this? She did a complete 180. So I guess what I want to say is, if you are someone who is sitting at home and you know that you have conservative parents, if you know that your parents have friends that make weird racial jokes at holidays, if you have, you know, your brother's friend that you know like slips the N-word in a conversation because he doesn't understand why it's a problem, talk to the people in your family about how they can be better people. You'd be surprised what a difference that can make and how that can help in a way that maybe those words wouldn't get through to that person otherwise. I hope that makes sense. I feel like I'm just talking in a circle. So I think that's probably it. If this video is not 10 minutes, then I'm going to put something at the end to make it 10 minutes so I can put as many ads as physically possible on it to donate as much money as physically possible. Obviously that includes all the money from this video. I also will be trying to match the donations of the money from this video. Whatever this video makes, I will be reaching that. I don't know what limit I will stop. My videos don't make that much money. I think my highest grossing video still only makes like 50 bucks. I'm going back to work this week, I think, finally, so I am happy to use the money that I'm getting for that to donate. I don't know at what point I'll go back to posting regular content, because it still just feels weird to me. Seeing people jump back into regular content makes me feel icky. I am looking into doing a video of, you know, buying from Black-owned businesses or promoting other Black creators more than the links below already do. So if you have favorite Black-owned businesses, creators, movies, artists, musicians, leave them down below. I would absolutely love for the comment section of this video to be just everyone talking about who they love. That would be great. And then I will probably slowly start to put out more content, mostly because if I'm putting money from June towards donations, I want to have more content out than just this one video. I think that's it. Like I said a million times, check out all the links in the description. I hope that everyone is staying safe. If you are going to protest, wear your masks, don't be a jerk. I mean, you can kind of be a jerk to cops, they deserve it, but don't be a jerk to each other. Social distance if you can. I'm seeing photos from the Vancouver protest and it makes me so happy, because everyone's wearing masks, everyone is distanced, they're being so respectful. It makes me so happy. So be safe. You can find tons of infographics and articles online of ways to stay safe in protests, whether that be, you know, duct taping your sleeves down or wearing goggles, don't wear contacts, bring extra hijabs if you wear one, things like that. So be safe. If there's anything that I can do for you, if you are part of the Black community and they're watching this and there's anything that I can do, literally anything, let me know. If there's anyone else you want me to link in the description, also let me know. If you have any other thoughts, let me know as well. I know we are all just trying to stay as educated as possible and promote this as much as possible, and I'm still learning and I still get overwhelmed and it still is a lot of information, and I can't even imagine how people deal with this every day. I have so much respect. Again, if you are white, it is not your black friend's responsibility to educate you. Go out of your way, find resources. If they want to talk to you about it, that is amazing, but I can only imagine how exhausted they are right now if they don't want to. I also tried to link down below some mental health resources for the black community. If you're somebody who's watching this and you just need a break, feel free to check that out. I'll try my best to track something down as well. I'm gonna leave this here. If you want more info or infographics or books or movies, I will continue to be posting on Instagram and adding it to the Black Lives Matter hashtag that I have on Instagram. So feel free to check that out. I've also linked it down in the description, but Magically Maya has a Black Lives Matter highlight on her Instagram. It has a swipe up to a Google Doc that I've also linked down below that has, again, a lot of black creators and shops and YouTube channels and podcasts and things like that. So check that out as well. I think that's it. I don't know when I'll see you guys again. Hopefully sometime soon. I hope this brought some insight to you. Talk to your friends, talk to your families, stay safe, do everything that you physically can, and I love you guys, and I will see you sometime.